how do you develop and publish an or own newsletter that build trust? Then effective newsletters focus on learning and outcome. You are not focusing on activities. And I cannot say this less. I have seen that often what do we do is that we produce newsletters that we just fool everywhere with activities. And sometimes even when there are no activities, we are doing our own newsletter. But even if there are no activities, we now go online or go to newspaper and carry other people's or carry one newspaper reporting to fill the empty space. Or you now go to where other newspapers mention your name because you have done activity, you just copy it and paste as part of newsletter. Your newsletter, yes, it is called newsletter, but your newsletter is not information dissemination. Your newsletter is not just for branding. Your newsletter must build trust. And in building trust with your newsletter must focus on learning and outcome. Your newsletter must share progress and setbacks. Your newsletter must include community perspective. And your newsletter must avoid promotional languages. These are some of the things you need to do, because by the time you do this kind of newsletter, people will begin to see that your newsletter is building trust. People will begin to see that you've been able to build trust using your newsletter. Focus on learning and outcome, not activities here and there and here. And those activities here and there, they are good, but your greatest focus should be what is the outcome and what is the learning this thing. And that outcome, again, it must not even we should not even end up in outcome. That outcome must be translated to impact. Because the last time I said, I took my time to explain to you people the difference between outcomes and impact. You need to show impact beyond outcome. That's what it is. You need to share progress and setbacks. You need to sincerely, because admitting failure, it is so difficult for people to admit failure. But admitting your challenges, your flaws, and your failure, it's one of the greatest ways to build credibility. People listen, people watch, and say, yes, you must not at all points begin to present yourself as an expert or as a man who never, because nobody is infallible. That's what it is. You need to include community perspective or stakeholders perspective. Showing clearly inclusion of community perspective or stakeholders perspective. What it does is that shows that you are co-creating, and the funders or serious funders need or want to read co-creation, because it is in co-creation that you are guaranteed of sustainability. You are guaranteed of trust. You are guaranteed of ownership. And it is trust and ownership that guarantees sustainability. So we need to see that in your newsletter. Again, is that you need to avoid promotional language. You stop behaving like all these PR people, all this branding. You are not in the business of marketing. You are in business of development. And development is social change. Your job is that you are not in the business, you are in the business of development. Let us see transformation and social change. That is where you are. It doesn't matter who makes the highest noise. You are not in the business of buzzword. You are not in the business of noise making. You are not in the business of marketing to say I am because sometimes we put these things as if you are selling service, you're selling product. Come and buy from me because I am selling. No, you are in the business of development. And look, let me say, when you build trust, When you build trust, you may not be noisy, but people will definitely come give you money because people are looking for trusted and competent. People are looking for trusted voice and trusted organization. So your fundraising lies mainly on your communication, and your communication must be communication for fundraising. And these are the things you do before you get to that level or before you achieve what I'm talking about. Are you with me?
Yes.
So another
There
thing,
is
okay.
use that in touting our newsletter, we should avoid promotional. I don't know what promotional words.
Languages.
Brian languages.
So what
Because
that,
we are not blinding.
yes, what that means, I'm not saying you should not mention your name. In short, the newsletter already belongs to you. There's no point mentioning your name here and there. So what I'm saying in a simple language, that you should avoid bragging. You know, forget. I don't know how to put it. It's not. Okay. Take for instance, if a local government chairman will have given you money to empower women in Okunano, for instance. Let's say there's a place called Utigba Junction in Enugu.
Junction, yes.
There's maybe they've given you money to empower women in Utigba. After that, instead of you to show in your newsletter the impact of the 50 million or 30 million or 10 million that will be given to you to empower the women, you have dedicated your newsletter to promote the chairman. Do you understand me? You have dedicated, instead of you to talk about the impact of your project, you are busy promoting the chairman, showing how he's a good politician. Without him, people will not be living without him. So that's not necessary. That's not what you should do. What you should do is that, yes, acknowledge support from the chairman. He ends it there. But show the impact. Show the outcome and impact of 20 million that has been given you to empower the women. Show outcome and impact on the community. But there's one thing I want to say. After this training, I want you people to begin to look at communication, not from the lens of information dissemination. Everything you do in development sector is communication. The success, your projects rises and fall. Your projects rise and fall in communication. So if you want to design a mission, vision, teamwork, brainstorming, all those things, communication should stand. Let every other thing be on top of that communication. Communication is the tree that is carrying all the branches. But what we have done is that we have reduced communication to information dissemination, tweet, social media, social media messaging, website management, and press conference, and all that and all that. That is not communication. Communication is empowerment. Communication is negotiation. Communication is dialogue. In short, communication is the engine room of development work. That's why it's called development communication. So I believe that after this training, you're going to have a new communication officer that will understand what is going on.